Well, joining me now is Joel Griffith, Heritage Foundation Research Fellow, and Kristen Tate, the Hill columnist and Independent Women's Voice Fellow. Welcome to you both. Joel, I'll start with you. Those comments from Tlaib, not surprising, but very clarifying when it comes to where certain members of Congress stand and what the economy actually needs.
No, this really was. And I really was pleased to see some of the banking executives actually push back and say, look, if we're going to go down this road of woke progressivism and ESG, this is going to be a real harm to American families and American businesses. To think that these left-wing politicians are trying to force these banks and other institutions to stop funding very needed fossil fuel development, that would make our country into California. And let's remember, in California, they're paying about twice what we pay across the rest of the country for gas and electricity. And we need to see these banks push back and say what they are doing in funding these fossil fuel companies is actually a benefit to society.
So, Kristen, interestingly, climate envoy John Kerry had a chance to weigh in, or took the chance to weigh in, on the Inflation Reduction Act. Of course, he praised it, he loves it, but he did acknowledge this. It doesn't have much to do with inflation. Surprise, surprise. But Kristen, you look at that admission. What can you call the bill except for a big lie? But talk about the damage of what's happened because of the kind of spending that we're getting here that isn't going to solve America's biggest economic problem right now, which is inflation.
Exactly. Not only is it not going to solve the problem, it's going to make it worse. The American people were lied to about another massive spending bill. And these politicians, they are completely drunk on power. They're addicted to spending our tax dollars. And they just tacked on this dishonest name, the Inflation Reduction Act, onto yet another boondoggle trillion-dollar spending bill that just funnels all of our money to the Democrats' friends in the green energy business. And, you know, it's really funny because as soon as this bill passed, the Democrats' allies in the mainstream media didn't even bother calling it the Inflation Reduction Act anymore. Now they just call it the climate bill. I mean, it's a total joke. The Democrats are no longer the party of working class Americans. It's ridiculous. The party of JFK, and I mean, even Bill Clinton is dead at this point. They're just the party addicted to spending, and they're doing everything they can to make elites on the coasts happy. That's who they serve at this point.
Well, that's a great point on the working class, Joel. You brought up California earlier. Fox Business is reporting, and again, I can't believe this stuff. California regulators are seeking to ban the sale of diesel commercial trucks in California by the year 2040. I mean, you talk about the tool of the working class, the number one thing that so many people in blue-collar jobs rely on. It's the diesel truck. They want to ban it. What would happen to America, Joel, if we saw that kind of policy, not just in California, but everywhere?
Oh, well, let's just look at what they have been doing in California. You know, the typical California family already, thanks to the Green New Deal components already in effect, typical family in California is paying $1,500 more per year for electricity, almost twice the national average. The typical California family, if you've got two vehicles, you're paying $3,000 extra a year in gasoline costs already, in addition to the income tax. So if we're going to push for this Green New Deal here across the country, it's going to look a lot like California. And we estimate at the Heritage Foundation that if you put the entire program into effect, that's going to be an additional $8,000 annually per family in energy costs.
Wow, $8,000 a year in added energy costs. I mean, for families that obviously can't afford that in the least. Kristen, let's talk the politics of all this. You look at the polling. Inflation is still sitting there as the top issue for voters, but you've got abortion on that list. You've got immigration on that list. You know, people are really starting to pay attention in November, thinking about what they're going to do at the ballot box. How do you see this playing out? Is inflation going to win the day, or do you think some of these other social issues may tip the scales back in favor of Democrats in a way that we really haven't been talking about up until this point?
Well, nearly every issue the Democrats can actually run on. I mean, look at what's gone on in this country since Joe Biden became president. Inflation's out of control. The economy is going into a recession. The border is wide open. Crime is spiking. Our public education is a complete joke. The Democrats, I think, realize that they cannot actually run on successes on these issues. So instead, they're trying to whip up their entire voter base into a hysteria over threats to democracy candidacy by Donald Trump, someone who's not even on the ballot. So that is really their only hope to drive voters to the base. But Republicans can't fall into that trap. The Republicans need to stay focused on the issues. Republicans win elections when they run on issues, and they cannot allow the Democrats to make this entire midterm election cycle about Donald Trump and GOP's threats to democracy that don't exist.
Yeah, and you can see the national media. I mean, every day it's Donald Trump, it's Mar-a-Lago, and it's Roe v. Wade, because they think that's the territory they can stand on. And I guess that's what you have to do when you don't have a lot else to brag about. We got to leave it there. Joel and Kristen, great to see you. Thanks for being with us.